Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Factorio. Last time we were here, we worked on the first tutorial level, and I spent, what was it, 28, something like that, minutes explaining like every little thing. So yeah, let's kick it up a notch. Let's go into tutorial level 2 now. So we're going to hit single player, new game, tutorial, and we're going to do mining outpost, so the second tutorial level. We did crash yesterday, mining outpost today. Play! Alright, this looks like an abandoned mining site. I wonder what the robotic arm is for. This machine is out of fuel. So we're going to left click on the burner inserter to open it up. And now a burner inserter, as we were reading about last time, basically what an inserter does is an inserter, let me turn on alt mode here. An inserter will take something from one side and then move it to the other side. So in this particular case, what this inserter will do once we fuel it up is it's going to start grabbing coal off of this belt line here, and it's going to move the coal into the chest, right? A burner inserter requires energy to work, and there's different kinds of inserters. The burner inserter is one of the first kind that you can craft. And a burner inserter requires coal to operate. So I'm going to go ahead and just put like 3 coal in there. There we go. Hover over an inserter, see which direction it will move items, or turn on alt mode, which is what I did. They can insert items into or unload items from structures, belts, containers. So as you can see in the picture up here, an inserter can move items off of belts and then put them into structures like mining drills. Inserters can move items from box to box. They can move items from a structure and place it onto a belt. And they can just pick things up off of the ground and put them onto another part of the ground, right? But it always goes from front to back, and then you can rotate them, right? So you can go front to back, you can rotate it to then go from back to front, you can then rotate it to go top to bottom or bottom to top, right? You rotate it around depending on what orientation you need, but it always moves things in a straight line. It doesn't move from like here to here, for example. Another thing to note too is with the belts, and I know I haven't really explained belts yet. Belts are pretty self-explanatory. They just move a direction, and anything that's on the belt will move along with the belt until it reaches the end of the belt, right? Now, belts have 2 sides. You can see right here with the coal, the miners, they're outputting the coal onto the top side of this belt, right? And you can see that there's a second side, this bottom side, and it's empty, right? Nothing's been put on the bottom side. So you can put 2 different resources on a belt, right? One on one half and another resource on another half. Or you can fill the belt up completely with the same resource, right? Depending on how you output onto the belt. So in this particular case, the miners are just outputting onto the top side of the belt. Now, when it comes to inserters, as you can see in this picture here, an inserter can grab from a box or a structure and move it onto a belt. Notice though that the inserter puts the item onto the far side of the belt. So the inserter grabs the item, in this case the iron plates, from the stone furnace, and it doesn't put it on the close side of the belt next to the inserter, it moves it to the far side of the belt. So that's important to know, right? As you're trying to manage resources and organize structures and things like that, inserters always place their items on the far side of the belt, the furthest away from them. So that's important to know. Alright, so now it can feed itself, right? So we gave it some coal. And now with the inserter, right, the inserter can feed itself. So when it goes through its coal source, it will grab another piece of coal if it's available and feed itself. So it will keep itself running. I don't need to go back and feed it coal later on. So it's fine. So now it wants me to take all the items from the iron chest up here, right? So this is an iron chest. Let me turn off alt mode. That's what an iron chest looks like. An iron chest has more space than a wooden chest. So we come back down here, you can see the wooden chest has almost 2 rows of spaces, but not quite. And the iron chest has a little over 3 rows of space. Not quite, but not 4. A steel chest will have even more. So again, you can open the chest and you can drag the items into your inventory, or if you want to just grab everything, you'll hit Control on your keyboard and just left click the chest and boom! Takes everything. Now it's all in my inventory. This may be of some use. What was that? It sounded like footsteps. So this game has enemies. These enemies are called biters. So yeah, you gotta deal with biters. So we'll be dealing with biters in this tutorial video, and that's fine. But yeah, when enemies are close, you can fire at them by holding spacebar. The enemy closest to your cursor will be shot. So make sure that you put your cursor in a way to where it's going to fire at the biter that you want to fire at. I typically just have the cursor relatively close to me, or if there's something I'm targeting in particular, I'll put the cursor on the target I'm targeting. Pretty straightforward. So if we zoom out, we can see the biters are going to come from up here, right? So we can just hold spacebar and we can pull back. There's a couple more biters. Let's just go deal with them real quick. Easy peasy. The second burner inserter is reversed. So if we zoom, well, I can't zoom back in, I'm too far out. Anyway, there's a burner inserter right here. And they say it's reversed because right now it's oriented to remove items from the stone furnace and put it onto the belt. But the intent of that burner inserter is to move items from the belt and into the stone furnace, right? So that's why they say it's reversed. There we go, we went down with the biters. All right, so rotate the inserter by pressing R. So R is for rotate, while hovering the cursor over it, so that it puts iron ore into the stone furnace, right? So we can rotate with R. Boom. So now, great, awesome. But it's not moving items into the furnace. Now why is that? Because again, it's out of fuel. It needs fuel. So we're gonna go ahead and put just a couple of pieces of coal into there so you can see it working. So yeah, it's moving, hooray! When building a structure, press R to rotate before building, right? So if we want to build a structure, let's say I grab this burner inserter here from my inventory. Before you place it down, you can rotate it, right? So if I wanna, I can rotate it and then place it. No worries. Right click to lift something off, right? To take it down. So now our main objective has changed. We want to build structures. We want to build 10 burner mining drills, which are these guys. We want to build 5 stone furnaces, right? Now the way that this is set up, it wants you to use belts and inserters and all that fun jazz. And we will get there, but I want to show you guys an easier way to do this tutorial, because this easier way is also going to make it easier for you when you start free play, right, in order to actually go build your rocket ship. Because the early game is very much this burner mining drill into stone furnaces kind of thing in order to get the basic resources you need to start automating to get towards, in this case, electricity, right, in order to power more advanced things. So rather than doing this like mess of belts and inserters and all that fun jazz, we're going to do what I call direct insertion. So we're going to right click on these belts, just remove it all. I'm going to clean all this up. Just clean it all up, clean it all up, clean it all up. I'm going to literally just clean everything up because I like to start fresh. What can I say? So I'm going to even remove the walls because whatever, I don't need the walls. Not right now. And if I do need walls later, I can place them. But if we zoom out, you see our little tutorial zone is not very large. We killed all the biters already. Whatever. It's fine. Let me go and remove these mining drills. Let me remove the walls. There we go. Remove the walls. You can see that there's like old remains of like turrets and stuff. We'll get to turrets later. See the dead body of one of the biters I killed. Cool. Alright, so we've removed everything. We're starting relatively fresh. So we need to build burner mining drills. Now if you remember from tutorial 1, a burner mining drill requires basically 9 iron plates and 5 stone, right? Now, your first thought would be, well, I need to go ahead and put whatever burner mining drills I have onto the iron, right? That makes sense. But you need to power these burner mining drills, right? With coal or wood, but I'm going to use coal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of things. Let me go ahead and move things down to my shortcut bar down here. That way I can just grab it from there and I'm not constantly opening up my inventory. There we go. All right, perfect. Q to clear your hand, E to close your inventory. So what I mean by direct insertion is when you place a burner mining drill down, right? You see it has an arrow for output. So it's going to output wherever this arrow goes. Now you can output onto a belt, which is what it was doing, or you can output directly into a stone furnace, right? So it would mine the iron and dump it directly into the stone furnace. No belts, no inserters required. An even cooler thing that you can do is you need coal, right? Now you could burner mining drill and then output into a box, right? But then eventually your burner mining drill is going to run out of coal, which is lame because it's sitting on top of coal. Why can't it feed itself? Well, with direct insertion, they can feed themselves as long as they're in pairs, right? Or in an even number. So this is really cool. So you put a burner mining drill down on some coal. We're going to go ahead and put it here. And I'm going to orient it so that way it outputs this direction. Now I'm going to grab another burner mining drill and I'm going to orient it so it outputs the other direction. So now these two are going to feed into each other. Now a burner mining drill can store up to a stack of coal, and you can see a stack of coal is 50 coal. So these guys will mine and mine and mine, and they will continually output coal into the fuel part of each of the burner mining drills until they're full, right? So each burner mining drill basically can hold 50 coal, which is sweet. So if we go ahead and just drop one coal into one of these mining drills to kickstart it, you can see it's now working. It outputs coal in here, and boom, now this is working. So now they're going to output into each other. And this way you can generate coal really easily. And then when you want to grab it, you just hold control, left click and drag over, and you'll grab whatever coal is sitting in here. And that way you can gather all the coal you need, right, in order to fuel your other operations. So now that we have some coal generating, let's go ahead and do some direct insertion of the iron. So I'm going to go ahead and put one here. And I'm going to show you another cool trick, actually. So you know how you grab something and you push Q to clear it, right? You can clear your hand with Q. Q is amazing. You're going to use Q all the time because Q, if you push Q on something that you've already placed, if you have it in your inventory, it will just grab it from your inventory and you can place it. If you don't have it in your inventory, so let me go ahead and place the second one, right? If you don't have it in your inventory and you press Q, it will grab a ghost of that thing. So that way you can plan like, oh, I want to put two more down over here and here. That kind of thing. Right click to remove the ghost placements. And then we're going to direct insert into the stone furnaces, right? Now I'm going to remove one of these guys because we need more stone furnaces, right? And we can manually mine the rocks to build the stone furnaces, but who wants to manually mine, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put one of these burner mining drills onto the stone. And we're going to dump that into a chest. And then we're going to feed it a bunch of coal. And it will just mine rocks forever into this chest. Sweet. Let's go ahead and grab more coal. Now let me show you something else, right? So each of these things can hold 50 coal in order to be powered for a long time, but we only have 59 coal. So obviously we can't put 50 and 50. So if I were to control right click here, that guy got 50 coal, but now this guy only gets 9, right? So that's a potential problem. So what we can do to more evenly distribute it is we can go ahead and control right click and then control left click, and that's a bit more even. Or if we want to be super even about it, we can use Z and then just drag back and forth, right? And it'll just drop one over and over and over again. And that's very even. So now they're shared. So that's a couple of different ways you can do it. And yeah, I took all the fuel from this guy, but that's okay because this guy will kickstart him, so it's totally fine. So now we're in the process of getting iron. We're in the process of getting stone. Lovely. Now we just need to build our stuff. So control left click to grab the iron plates out of there, control left click to grab the stone out of there, and we can currently build 3 more burner mining drills. So let's go ahead and build all of them because we need all of them. Now everything's powered by coal, right? So we were going to need more coal. These two are great, but it's not going to be enough to feed everything. So we're going to make a little loop. So I'm going to go and place one there, and then rotate that, and now we have a loop. Now we're going to have 4 coal miners all feeding into each other. So we'll get even more coal. It's going to be amazing. And then you just control left click and then drag in order to grab all the coal. So that way we can continue to feed these guys. Control left click to grab the iron, control left click to grab stone. We're going to make another burner mining drill. Let's also make more stone furnaces too. And now we can go ahead and push Q, grab another one of these guys. Let's even put another one of these guys there. We only have 1 stone furnace right now, and that's okay. We don't have any coal. So let's go grab some. And then we're going to control right click, control left click to distribute that relatively evenly. Grab more stone, build another stone furnace, that way this guy gets a stone furnace, and you can kind of see how this early game cycle goes. And we'll be done with this tutorial relatively quickly, right? It'll be nice. So grab some more coal, let's go and distribute that relatively evenly, and now we've got 3 burner mining drills feeding into 3 stone furnaces, all making iron plates for me, which is lovely. So now I need to build 2 more mining drills. So let's go ahead and I need stone. So let's grab some stone. Let's build 2 more burner mining drills because that's what we need. And we seem to always be out of coal, right? So let's go ahead and add to our coal supply. So let's go ahead and just up this loop some more. So I'm going to go do that, and then rotate that guy. And now we have a bigger loop. We'll generate more coal that way. And then I can grab the coal from down here, hold Z, and then distribute this relatively evenly by just circling around and around and around. So now everything has coal. Grab more iron plates, grab more stone. We've built all the burner mining drills that we require, but we need 2 more stone furnaces. So let's go ahead and build a stone furnace. I'm going to actually build another burner mining drill because this isn't mining stone fast enough to meet my impatient demand, right? So another burner mining drill, stick him there, and now we'll have 2 burner mining drills feeding into the box once I give him some coal. So here, have some coal. There we go. Now let's build 2 more furnaces because that's what we need to build. And I don't have any burner mining drills to feed into it because I've put more on coal than the tutorial probably intended, and that's fine. We'll just place them down here just to have them placed to finish that objective. Alright, so if I connect it all correctly, I should be able to get the resources needed for electric power soon. I'm going to need a lot of resources if I want to start some serious expansion. So our objective has changed. We need 150 iron plates, 50 copper plates, and then 75 coal. So I'm going to pick these up. We've got our iron plates going, we've got coal going, we've got stone going, but we need copper plates. And copper plates are just as easy to do as the iron plates. You just come up here to the copper. Let's build like 3 of those, and we'll build like 3 stone furnaces too to go along with them. And then we'll place them down. I'm going to go and just place them facing upward. That's fine. That's fine. And then hold Z. Whoops. Don't left click like I just did. Just hold Z and go. And now we're going to start getting copper plates. Lovely! Grab some more stone, grab some more coal. Let's keep feeding these guys. Let's grab our iron plates. And now we basically just gather the resources. So we can continue to build more burner mining drills if we want to get them faster, but we should get them relatively quickly enough, I think. So we'll just kind of wait it out. It's fine. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying this tutorial series. Hopefully everything's making sense. I'm not going too fast. While we're waiting for these things to go, let's go ahead and go over these tips that are down here, because this is nice. So let's read about inserters. So, like I was explaining, right, inserters pick items up from one direction and place them on the opposite tile. They can move items to and from transport belts, chests, burner mining drills, stone furnaces, as well as other machines like assemblers, and they can basically move stuff to stuff. There's very few things that they can't move stuff into. And you can see some examples here. This guy's grabbing iron ore from the belt and putting it into the stone furnace. These guys just moving stuff from box to box. This guy is moving stuff from the stone furnace onto a belt. You can also see another rule about the belts, right? So I mentioned how the inserters will put things on the opposite side of the belt. So if this belt was going up, this would put it on the right side of the belt. Also notice that the inserter's putting the item onto the bottom side of the belt. So it always does that too. So if you're going to have an inserter placed directly onto a belt and then go that direction, the inserter is going to put it on the bottom side of the belt. Now, this is harder for me personally to remember, so I almost never put an inserter like this. I'll almost always put an inserter up or down, depending on what side of the belt I want it to insert onto, right? I won't put the inserter like this. I put the stone furnace like up here, put the inserter like right here, and then it will output onto the belt. That's just easier for me to remember. But if you can remember this and you want to build your factory that way, you go for it. So yeah, mark is red. There's also long-handed inserters, which we're not going to get to in this tutorial, right? But long-handed inserters are the same thing as inserters, but they can reach 2 spaces, and only 2 spaces. If they move the box right here, this long-handed inserter won't grab from the box. It's too long. It can only move from 2 tiles away to 2 tiles away. It can reach over walls, it can reach over buildings, it's got to reach. It can reach from 2 tiles away and place it from 2 tiles away. Pretty straightforward. You can also notice it moves relatively fast. It moves faster than the regular inserters. So they're a little bit faster too, which is nice. All right, transport belts. This is a lovely looking mess. But yeah, transport belts are used to move items, and they run without using energy. You don't need to power them with electricity. You don't need to power them with coal. These things run on magic. This is one of the few things that run on magic in this game. Belts run on magic. They don't need power. They just go. They're lovely. So yeah, transport belts move stuff. If you stand on a belt, it will move you too. So if you want to get somewhere fast, you can run on a belt that's going the direction you want to run to, right? Because the belt will move you too. Kind of like in an airport, right? When you walk on those like moving floors, you're walking at super speed. You can basically do that in Factorio too. You stand on the belt and you run and boom. Transport belt system consists of transport belts, splitters, which you can see divides the resources or combines the resources. So in this case, right, it's dividing the resources and splitting them onto 2 belts in roughly 50-50, right? You can use splitters to also combine resources together. So you've got iron coming this way, you've got copper coming this way, you put a splitter, and now you're combining the copper and the iron together onto just one belt. You can also use splitters to mix stuff too. So in this case, right, it's splitting the iron and copper onto both of these belts, and it's also splitting the green circuits onto both of these belts. Now green circuits is making it onto both of these belts, as well as iron and copper too. So yeah, you can use splitters for splitting, which is what they're named for. You can use splitters for merging, and you can use splitters for dividing. And then there's underground belts, and you can see underground belts basically allow you to build a belt system and ignore whatever's in the way. So this underground belt is moving stuff from here to the exit of the underground belt, and that allows this belt to continue to use this space. You don't need to tear up this belt, you just put an underground there and boom, you can continue unimpeded. And that's how you can make a mess. And you can see underground belts can have some distance, right? So this underground belt is outputting all the way up here. So cool stuff. Underground belts, very helpful. Higher tiers of transport belts can move faster. So there's red belts. They call them fast transport belts. Red belts are pretty quick. They're really nice. And then you have express transport belts, or blue belts, as I like to call them. The blue belts are really fast, really nice, but very expensive. So you're always going to start with yellow belts. You'll eventually upgrade to red belts, and then a long time after that, you'll eventually upgrade to blue belts. So, lovely stuff. So that's transport belts. This one explains splitters in a bit more depth, right? So let's go through that really quick since I did take the time to explain splitters. So splitters are used to split, combine, or balance belts. Incoming items are split equally if there is free space on both outputs or routed to whatever output is free, right? So in this case, they're using the splitter to combine these 2 resources. You can see that these 2 belts are getting kind of blocked up because it's trying to combine 2 full belts onto 1 full belt. So these are getting backed up a little bit. This isn't very efficient, but you can use splitters to merge outputs from 2 belts onto 1 belt. And that is helpful in a lot of cases. We'll be doing that a lot in the future. And then you use splitters to split resources off too, and you can see it divides it 50-50 between the 2 outputs. Cool stuff. And then we have underground belts, like I explained. Underground belts let you move stuff underground, so that way you can use the above ground for whatever you need, right? Walls, inserters, other belts. Cool stuff. There's also impassable terrain like cliffs. We haven't run into cliffs yet, but you can use underground belts to move stuff from one side of a cliff to another. So that kind of stuff. Underground belts are really nice. We have the electric network. I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to explain electricity yet because there's a tutorial level for that. we're not going to talk about electricity yet. We'll do that in, I think, the 3rd tutorial level. So we'll get there, no worries. Alright, sweet. So let's go ahead and grab some more stone. Let's grab some more coal. We've almost got all the coal we need. Grab some more iron. We've got about 30 iron left that we need. We got about 25 more. Well, we're actually pretty close to the copper side of things. I'm going to move one of these setups from the copper to the iron just to kind of speed things along a little bit. So Q to grab it, Q to grab it, grab your coal. Just going to throw some of it in there because I do need some coal for the main objective. Grab some more coal. We've met the coal objective. Grab some more iron. We've almost met the iron objective. Grab some copper. We've now met the copper objective, so now we're just waiting on the iron. Grab the iron. There we go. Boom. Objective complete. That was some hard work. I have everything I need now. Time to move on. And that is tutorial level 2. So yeah. Again, hopefully you found this entertaining. Let me know if I'm over-explaining or under-explaining in the comments below. Let me know if I missed anything. If there's anything that you have questions about, I'm happy to answer questions as well in the comments. If I get a lot of the same question, or if you're really persistent and you really want me to show an example of something, then I'll be happy to make a separate video on that too. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it entertaining. Hope you found it informative. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I love teaching people stuff, and I love Factorio in general. So yeah, this is great for me. I'm loving it. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.